This is a video on a new case that I've developed for the OnStep PCBs that I sell on my website. This particular case is an example of the Mini ESP 3.1, but the ESP 3.1 is just two drivers. Mainly is for the deck and the RA axis of your telescope. So it's a slimmed down version of the Max ESP 3. So what I've developed is what I like to think is a bit more of a universal case. I've developed different plates to go on each side um, to fit the different types of connectors that you may use. Let's see this one. So you can see where I have the antenna on the ESP8266 sticking out and the power connector. And then if you used the RJ45 connectors on here, you would want to use this face. This square hole would fit your RJ45 connectors. This particular PCB has screw terminals, but you kind of get the idea of if you had RJ45 connectors, they would go through this square hole here. The other one is more for, I can't make a face for every single type of connection out there. So drill your own, make your own connector holes as you seem fit. So you could put aircraft connectors on here or whatever you want to on this face. So that's the idea behind the blank face, I call it, where you pick your connection for your motors versus the RJ45. If you use RJ45 connectors, I have a faceplate for that. And then this faceplate is for the other side, where the DB9 connector comes through, the RJ11 connector comes through, and the hole for the mini USB port for the ESP computer is available, so you can do your USB serial connection to the OnStep computer. So those are the three different types of faces that I'm offering. The other concept of this is I'm making a universal mounts that go on the bottom of this case. I have Cinta, usually where you put your guide scope or your finder scope. So Cinta, this is photography 1/4 20. So if you had a tripod, if you had a 1/4 tidy screw, you would put this on the bottom of the case, and now you've got your 1/4 20 screw ready to mount this case onto your mount somewhere. Same with the Cinta. The Cinta would go on. You can position these. I made them square so you could hand position them in either direction if you want to mount it on your telescope. This is a Los Mandy dovetail. So for the larger Los Mandy. And then this is just a regular, I guess you would call a Vixen, kind of for the smaller telescopes. Vixen is the very popular dovetail mount that you use, and again, these all can rotate either direction. So let's go ahead and we'll put the Vixen mount on, and these are held together with M3 screws, and I'll just do a couple screws just to make the video a little bit more brief. All of the screws are melt-in-place threaded adapters, so they will last longer than using plastic thread going into plastic self-tapping screws or anything like that. So it's just a simple matter of attaching. Oops, I missed the. Let's get that line back up. I thought I was doing good until I missed that one. Let me look at the other holes. There we go. So now we've got two M3 screws holding that particular Vixen dovetail onto the case. Next step I usually do is attach the PCB. I have small standoffs where the PCB holes go. I do have an on-off switch that I've integrated into the side. So there's your on-off switch. And then if you want to build in holes for LEDs, for status and power, at this point I just say drill your own, because I don't know if you'll be using 3mm, 5mm, etc. You can see the material that you're drilling into is not that thick, so it's not too bad to drill into. I've scooped this out, so the material is a little bit thinner on that side, but still have good structure. Okay, so let's go ahead and we can put the PCB on. These standoffs are threaded screws, being that these are probably the screws that you'll be using the least of, and it gives a little bit of flexibility if things are a little bit off. So we'll just put two in to show the PCB attached to the case. Okay, now we need to choose which faceplate to put on. We'll put just one on. So let's put this one on first. Oops. And then again, M3 screws is what connects the faceplate to the case exterior. And gives the box more structure this way, this direction. So this faceplate is on. We'll get things aligned a little bit better. Okay. Now the top is captured in place. You slide into these grooves, and it doesn't matter which direction the logo goes. So this takes a little bit of sanding to get those grooves to kind of wear in after coming off the printer. And then they dovetail into the other side there. Now for this side, we'll go ahead and do the blank side. And this side then it also attaches with M3 screws. So this side also is put together with M3 screws. And now as you kind of squeeze this together and get things kind of broken in, you have a nice little case with an on-off switch, panel access, what the Wi-Fi antenna is sticking out so you get a little bit better signal, a blank spot. You can put your connectors for your motors. There's the power input, the DB9, the SD4 or RJ11 for the hand controller, and the micro USB for doing serial over USB. So this is the new case I've come up with. I'll be putting it up on my website shortly. I will have different cases of the same concept or style of fitment and plates, and I'll have it for the eventually most any other PCB that I'll be selling on the website.